Okay.
By the way, just for our purposes, can you spell your full name?
Yeah. Which camera do you want me to look at?
Doesn't matter.
Look at the questioner.
Okay. All right. First name is spelled Anna, A-N-N-A. Last name is spelled L-E-P-E-L-E-Y.
How do you pronounce
Well, it's a French last name, but in Spanish, I'm Latin American. We pronounce it Lepeley. For the gringos, we say Lepeley.
it? Okay.
Are you Cuban American?
My dad's from Chile. Yeah. My mom's from Cuba. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
So you drove in from Florida?
Yeah, I'm driving up to I'm going to be in the Northeast for the month of July.
Touring, right?
Well, I'm visiting family, and then I'll be I got like a couple of comedy shows in New York. Stuff is still opening up here.
Right.
In Florida, nothing really shut down. So,
Really? Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I was trying to get in Richmond, Virginia, like, we're not open yet. I'm like, you pussies. So I'm just kidding. In Florida, nobody took that seriously.
Oh, God.
I did, because I'm originally from Connecticut, so I'm a northerner, so I have like the northern mentality to stuff. But I've lived in Florida for a long time.
So were you performing in Florida with the clubs open?
They didn't really shut anything down. I remember going to Miami right in the middle of it, and I want to say like November when things started to get a little bit open, but they shouldn't have been. Everything was open. Everything.
Is this the first show you've done in D.C.?
First show I've done in D.C., yeah.
And what are your thoughts off the top of your head?
I love it. Love it. Diverse. I love diverse crowds. I love smart crowds. And you can tell when you mention countries, ethnicities, people know what you're talking about. And that's exactly what I expected coming here. So I was really impressed. I like smart crowds because I don't do weed jokes. I don't do run-of-the-mill stuff. I like people to know references, and that makes my job and my life so much easier.
So you got into comedy, and how long you been doing it?
Okay, so I got into comedy because I got my PhD in 2012 in
what?
Exercise biochemistry and nutrition research. So what I started to realize is that when I would present at academic conferences, people were laughing, but I was also getting banned from certain organizations for speaking because they said my humor was too inappropriate. So I thought, well, I really like making people laugh, so I put it on my bucket list. And then after I finished my PhD, I was applying for jobs, and they were telling me I had too much experience or too little experience. And I was like, well, how much experience do you need? They're like, about 10 years. I go, well, 10 years ago I was drinking cheap vodka in a dorm room, so I don't know what you want me to do about my age, you know? So about 4 or 5 months, I started doing comedy, and I started touring on the road probably around 2018. More or less, I became more of a road comic. And we're mostly in the Southeast, so I'm trying to expand my horizons now.
So how did you achieve that level where you were able to do some touring?
I just kind of just winged it. I just contacted venues. I was on the road 2016 and 2017, so I got a taste of it in South Carolina and so forth, and then I love being on the road. So.
Did you submit videos to get approved, or
I can't remember how far back, but I still submit videos to this day, so I don't know. I think it was also word of mouth, having people vouch for you and things like that. That definitely helps.
Your LGBTQ status is part of your act. Do you feel like you are just after the humor of it, or do you want to kind of send overall messages, or is it a combination thereof?
It's both. I think the reason I started really getting into lesbian jokes is because I used to get really annoyed with getting hit on by dudes. And I said, well, why don't I take this annoying feeling and turn it into humor? And I feel like I'm really educating people at the same time. And then I got really pissed off about people being homophobic, so I did that cake bit. And I kind of just take anything that annoys me, and I kind of give people a glimpse of how we see things. So they're like, oh shit, she's right. We look like idiots. Because I do a lot of comedy in the South, where there's a lot of homophobia, a lot of ignorance, and a lot of people don't really know much about lesbians. I mean, people think lesbian, they think, oh, it has to be short hair, it has to be a certain way, and I want people to expand their horizons. But I like talking about different cultures too, because that definitely helps, you know. But DC is such a good place for that. People are educated here, so that really is good.
So what are your goals like over the next 5 years?
I'd like to be able to financially support myself off of it. I also host and produce my own traveling show called Comedians in Drag Doing Comedy, where I go to different cities and I recruit local comics from that area, and we dress as the opposite sex.
Wow.
And they lip sync, they do comedy. So I have gay, straight, trans comics. They dress as what they opposite of what they identify as, and it's been a blast, a real fun time.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, you got some good energy, both professionally and on stage. I enjoyed your set.
Thank you. I like yours too.
And I was saving this awkward bit till the end. Don't let anyone, man or woman, professional or amateur, fuck with those eyebrows. Those are some of the greatest eyebrows I've ever seen.
Let me tell you, it's funny. I want to write a joke about this. I used to let girlfriends do my eyebrows because I never really knew what I was doing.
But it goes through so many fashions. They go through a thin eyebrow phase, and then they fuck up, and 8 years later, the fashion changes, they can't grow them back.
Well, that's
It's
right.
the saddest non-reported tragedy in America.
You know that.
I know
Most people
that.
don't.
I'm an
So
eyebrow guy.
My eyebrows used to be so thin that I have to erase all the pictures before because girls were doing that. But I got lucky. I had a breakup. I had a breakup a couple years ago with a girlfriend, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna fucking grow out my eyebrows. Never touch them again. I mean, I tweeze the unibrow once in a while. I will never let anybody touch
You
it.
got a little Anthony Davis going on, eh?
Who's
He's
that?
a basketball star known as the Brow, because he has the unibrow.
I think we're going for
Google Anthony Davis.
Frida Kahlo.
Well, I fully endorse it. I'm an eyebrow guy, and
I
applaud.
love that you noticed that.
Well, when you know what you like, you notice it, right? What can I say? Now, this, of course, bumps into the realm of sexuality, but since I know you're on the other team, we can keep it clinical.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's all,
You can tell
it's
me
all good.
anything. I'm pretty cool with everybody, so it's cool. I wanna get you guys contacts and stuff
Yeah.
next time I come into town.
Are you on Facebook, or are
Yeah,
you too hip for that?
I do everything. Definitely not.
I'm
too
on
cool for that.
Facebook mostly, very rarely on the other things.
Okay, then Facebook. I do most of my comedy booking on Facebook.
Type in, if you want, John Herr, Herr. That's where I get the name Hurricane. You got a little blue guy? That's it. Hit me.
And then yours,
And I'm Cheryl M.
Cheryl.
Cheryl. M as in Mary.
Sorry.
The Cheryl M. Comedy.
Cool. It's really nice to meet you guys. If it's possible to get that set at all in any way, I'd love to.
Okay, I'd be happy to send
I
it to
was
you.
so
We're getting. I'm discovering that these comics all are kind of trying to get their sets. So we got a line going on, and we've been just collecting. We're in the collecting phase, and this is going to take a little while.
Yeah.
But I'll put you on the list.
No rush. I really
Send it.
appreciate it. Really like that. I really
Because
appreciate that.
it's a good ticket to show another promoter.
Yeah. I got an old reel from like 2019 that seems to work every time. So
I know. I used to use this one from 2010. It was one of the best reactions I ever got, and it's still on my. I have like a dormant website
Yeah.
with like my comedy schedule from